All right, so this is my reaction video to Coach Shelton Harrison getting the interview of the year. He has had the interview with Cris Cyborg. He just recently did it this last Labor Day weekend here, and it was spectacular. And if I can do a reaction video about Ariel, if I can do one about Luke Thomas and all of these other guys, I'm damn sure going to do one about the coach, man. Shout out to CSH Combat Sports Show. It was a brilliant interview. Anyways, let's get into it. Now, Cris Cyborg has basically been doing the same interview on every single outlet. She's been talking about the same general type thing. She's looking for a fight. She's begging for a fight. She needs a fight. Everybody's ducking her. Or they're using her name, they're clout chasing, basically, using her name to get into the UFC. This is basically what's been the talk of the town with Cris Cyborg. And recently she's been talking about leaving MMA. Two things that jumped out to me like crazy in this interview is that one, Cris Cyborg has been saying the exact same thing about this. I want a boxing fight. Yeah, I want to go and do boxing. I want to go and do boxing. Now I really do believe that she's negotiating with the UFC. She is negotiating with the UFC. What she's basically doing is she is playing chicken. She's playing a game of chicken with the UFC, right? She is standing in front of a train, and now she has the UFC standing in front of a train, and she's like, who's going to move first? Who's going to move first? Because I don't mind. I'll torpedo the shit. She says she'll torpedo it. She doesn't care. Will you torpedo yours? Because when you need somebody, Cris Cyborg is there. Cris Cyborg has managed to actually play chicken with the UFC and get her way. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people actually do that. Play chicken with the UFC and win. Rory McDonald did it, lost. Eddie Alvarez is doing it right now. No telling what's going to happen. Chris Weidman did it and won. That's why I like Chris Weidman. He had the belief in himself and he went for it. And he got it. He got what he asked for. But it's not too often that you play chicken with the UFC and win. And Anthony Pettis just recently tried to play chicken when they tapped him to step up to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. He said he'd fight, and then he said, hey, I just need a little more scratch. I need a little more change to go with it. And they said, no way, you're out of here. Go. We'll get the next, we'll grab a scrub off the street before we pay you any extra money. Now, that's a shame. The UFC, they should be ashamed of themselves sometimes. But anyways, it's not often that you go against the UFC and win. And Cris Cyborg has done it. She said, look, I'm not going back to 135. I'm not going to 140. If it's not 145, then it's nothing. And she's managed to get a bunch of fights where she can weigh in at 145, but all of her opponents are 135. Easy money. Easy money. So I think right now that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get some boxing matches just like Conor McGregor did. That's what she wants to do. She wants to get some boxing matches. And this is why it rang like a bell to me, because Coach Shelton Harrison, he had the comments on the whole time. He was trying to keep up with the comments. The guy is all about the comment section, the fans, the people, the MMA community. So we're going to be coming with the questions. Anyways, his comment section was in there, and I'm not sure if he said the question or somebody from the comment section, but he managed to see it, and he just said, hey, Cris, I understand you want to do boxing, and a lot of people want to see you do boxing, but after boxing, do you have plans to come back into the octagon? And he asked that question because to me, I thought she was going to do boxing and then be done. Because that's what it sounded like. But she said, no, she's coming back. She said she would like to come back and continue to fight in MMA. She just wants a couple of fun fights. She really just wants a couple of fun fights. Cris Cyborg is bored right now a little bit with MMA. They're not giving her anything interesting. I mean, the most interesting fight she had was Holly, and now she has Amanda. Finally got Amanda. And finally got Holly, actually, to be honest. She just has to wait so long for everything. She just wants to have a little bit of fun. That's why I thought maybe she should go to Bellator, because Bellator is doing fun things with MMA right now. Tournaments. You know, they got Rory McDonald fighting back-to-back. He's going to fight Mousasi at 185. He's going to drop down and fight in the tournament. The tournament is so crazy that every time that they fight during the tournament, the belt is on the line every time. Like, they're doing fun things with MMA. The UFC has declined into whoever they want to make a celebrity, that's the fights you're getting. And it's like they're not trying to push or make anybody celebrity in the featherweight women's divisions. And it's kind of sad, but that's what it is. And Cris Cyborg is getting tired of it. But I was glad the coach went out there and said, look, will you come back? And she's like, yes. Now, the next question is, where? Are you willing to fight in another organization? Are you willing to fight at the PFLs, at Bellator? Are you willing to do that? Or is it just sort of the UFC right now, because they do have the name? Everybody knows the UFC. They're a respected name in MMA. They're the biggest promotion, period. Love them, hate them. They're the biggest promotion. But like I said, I just had to point that out. I thought that was really critical that coach went ahead and asked her that question, and we get a glimpse. Okay, so she is coming back to MMA. You know, so who's next for what does the timeline look like? What does everything look like? There aren't a whole lot of people to talk about. Coach did ask her about Kayla Harrison, and that shit was just funny. Cris Cyborg basically just dismissed her. Dismissed Kayla Harrison. She literally said, oh, who is that? Who? Oh, you mean the judo girl that they're trying to turn into the next Ronda Rousey? Oh, her. And then she never answered the question. She just moved on. She literally just moved on, because we all know what's up with that. And I hope that the silence is deafening, because Kayla Harrison is just not ready for a cyborg, period. You know, Kayla Harrison is not ready for a cyborg. Kayla Harrison would be really, really depressed if she went out there and just got bludgeoned by Cris Cyborg, knowing that she's not ready. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. But anyways, that's my thoughts on CSH Combat Sports Show's interview with Cris Cyborg. I thought it was a brilliant interview. Much love to the coach. Much love to the coach, one, for just bringing so much attention and eyeballs to women's MMA. We appreciate it over here at Channel MMA with Jay. We definitely do. And thanks for all the love that you've sent to my channel as well. Shout out to all the subscribers. Guys, I've left a link in my description for the interview. If you haven't listened to it already, then you're already a little bit slow. But hit that link. Go ahead and watch it while you're over there. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And leave your thoughts in his comment section.